What's good, everybody? It's your girl, Nikki St. Clair, back out on these YouTube streets. And I kind of wanted to bring your attention to human behavior in general. I remember I love DJ Mustard. I'm from LA, y'all. If y'all don't already know, I'm from LA. And when YG came out, everybody was excited. You know, they had a whole crew. Joe Moses came out and he had a song called I Do It for the Ratchets. They asked me what I do it for. I do it for the Ratchets. You know, there are a lot of men and women, there's a lot of people out there that say, hey, you know what? I don't celebrate Valentine's Day. I don't celebrate Valentine's Day. I don't want to get married. I don't want to have children. I don't cook. I don't clean. I don't do drugs. There's a lot of people out there that say these different things. They tell you what they don't do. But you know what? All it takes is that one person. That one person. I don't know if it's because it's the way they look or the way that they speak or the knowledge that they have or the way that they present the knowledge to you. But there's always going to be that one confident person that's going to say, hey, you just ain't met me yet. They look at it as a challenge and they will pursue you and they will turn your nose into yeses. And then sometimes you have that person. You're just crazy about them. There's something about them. There's something that's so intriguing. There's something about them that makes you feel like you can't do without them and you want to be into whatever they're into. You want to do whatever you think they want you to do. Now, I was in a relationship, right? And the person was into apocalypse movies and, about zombies and Game of Thrones and just different shows of that nature. I've never been into that. But you know what? I found myself sitting down and watching these things with him because I wanted to be what he was into. I wanted to get into the mind and understand why he's into these things. I wanted to know how he was wired mechanically. I wanted to try to see what he was seeing in such programs, right? So anybody who would know me would be like, Nikki she ain't gonna watch no zombie movies. That ain't her. No, 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 no. She's not into that. But it took me to meet the right person. When my man met me, my man at the time anyway, he wasn't into cleaning. He was not domesticated at all. And when I used to use bleach, it burns my nose, it burns my eyes. But guess what? By the time we really, really got serious with each other, baby was washing dishes with bleach in it. He was mopping floors. He was cleaning toilets and cleaning the tub with bleach. Okay? When he would come home from work and open at that door, he'd be like, "Oh, it smells like somebody's been womaning in here." He appreciated it. He associated the smell with a well kept, well loved home. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by. My topic basically is telling you they do, but not just with you. They just won't with you. Okay, so you have people that'll say, "Oh, I'm not looking for a relationship," but then they might not be looking for a relationship with you, but the person after you, there may be something that's just so intriguing about them. It just makes them say yes. People can change. People can change their mind. You know, I had one to say, hey, they don't celebrate Valentine's Day, you know, but with the right person, they celebrated Valentine's Day. The person that tickles their fancy. I'll never forget this one guy told me, he said, Nikki, I never did drugs in all my life. He said, but there was just this one bad BI, you know what? Oh, she was so fine. And she did it and she put it up to my nose and I found myself tooting. I found myself doing drugs because he was so enamored by the way this girl looked. And by being with this girl and being seen with this girl, he found himself doing things that he said he wouldn't do. And I knew exactly what he meant because let me tell you something. I met a guy and he came into my life and I just wanted to do whatever he wanted to do. I wanted to be wherever and go wherever he wanted to go. And however he wanted to be pleased, I was willing to do it. The things that I said I'd never do. This guy came in and turned my world upside down. So, you know, the next time you meet somebody and they tell you, hey, no, I don't do that. No, I'm not about that. You know, it's off. You know, I don't believe in that. I've had men to come to me and say, you know what, I don't believe in, I don't do all that church stuff. I like you, but I don't really go to church like that. And because they like me so much, they found themselves in church. And guess what? They enjoyed church. They got something out of it. And they began to go again. I've taken so many men to church. I mean, men that were interested in me. Because I want to see how you are with my Father in the midst of worship. I want to know, will you be respectful? Will you just at least respect what I respect? Will you at least come worship and come sit in the midst of what's important to me and what and who I worship? I want to know if you're really into me that much. So I invite. And if they come, they're one step closer to me. And if they're receptive to the word and God pricks their heart and they, you know, decide to make covenant with the Lord, that's even better. I've done my job and I might be the one for them and I might not be the one. I might just be the gateway to them becoming acquainted to the Lord or with the Lord. So, you know, I just wanted to get on here and say, if you have someone and they're telling you this is how it is and I'm not doing this, you might not agree with the 50-50 rule, but you really like that person and you're willing to be 50-50 with that person, if you're willing to compromise yourself, then you are the weak one. Stand on your principles, y'all, because the right one is going to come along and you can turn their world upside down. Even when you listen to Rick James, Fire and Desire, he said, love them and leave them. That's what I used to do until I met you. And it was like, all I wanted was you. Fire and desire for you and you only. He's basically telling you, yeah, he used to be a player. He used to be out there heartbreaking. He just ain't met the right one yet. And I'm giving you this message. I think I'm going to title it Valentine's Day message. I want you to truly just take inventory on your relationships. Have you been getting the short end of the stick? Have you been getting someone that is um, refuses to compromise themselves and just stands on principle? And if so, that's cool. If you want to respect them and respect their boundaries, that's cool. But what are your standards? What do you require? Are you willing to bend those standards for someone who's not willing to bend for you? I don't want you to give up. I don't want you to lose who you are. I look at Pop the Balloon and they're like, oh, your pants were too tight. Your dress was too short. You have too much makeup on. I don't like the weave and all of that. I like my girls more natural. One time they were going down the lane and the girl was like, why did you pop his balloon? Well, he was too short. And then all of a sudden, two other balloons popped. And so they walked over and they asked the two guys, why did you guys pop your balloon? Well, she made the remark that he was short and I'm his height, or I'm shorter than him. So I knew I was going to get eliminated. And the girl stood there and said, well, I would have made an exception for you. I would have made an exception for you because I like you. I feel a connection with you. Do you see how that works, y'all? So when a person is telling you, hey, I don't like this, or I don't celebrate that, or I refuse to do this for you because this is just something that I don't do, you're not their person. You're not their person and you're not compatible. And I don't encourage anybody to compromise themselves. Please, please, please stand on your square. If that's something that you're not into, don't try to get into it. If it does not resonate with your spirit or how you were raised, or you're going to end up losing yourself in the end, don't do it. In the 90s, it was so big to have a menage a trois. And for those who don't really know what that means, it basically means a threesome. They were it was all in the music and all in the rap songs. And they were just pushing and pushing this agenda, infiltrating Black love. And then these men felt like either they were a player or you need to get down how I get down. And I like two women, that was really, really the main agenda, you know what I'm saying, that was being pushed. And then later on, it was like, oh, I took your girl. Literally ripping Black love to shreds. Literally ripping Black love to shreds. And Black women in my community, I can't speak for everybody, but I know in my community, and I was in a community of predominantly Black women, we began to panic. And a lot of women who were straight, who love Black men, who were raised to provide a nurturing and clean and loving environment for the Black home, begin to compromise themselves. They begin to compromise their morals. They begin to compromise their sexuality. And they gave in to these men's desires. And the men were influenced by the music, by other men, and they wanted to try it. And what ended up happening is ultimately either the man would leave the initial woman to be with the third party, or they just decided, you know what, I've had a taste of the outside world, outside of us, outside of what we have, and maybe I just don't want this relationship no more. Maybe I want to just be out there. And when you break covenant with your partner, when you begin to allow outside forces and energies into your home, separation comes. And a lot of times women make the mistake to fall for giving the man what he wants, because she calls herself showing loyalty and loving him so much and allowing him to lead. And she's willing to throw her morals, her standards, and her beliefs away for that man. And then in the end, the man is like, well, you know, well, I want me a strong woman. I want me a woman that knows what she wants. I want a woman this. I want a woman that. And I want this type of woman, and it's usually they want the woman they had before she compromised herself, y'all. And I'm saying all of this to say, find out who you are, know who you are, stand on who you are, and don't bend or break for nobody. Because the minute that you bend and break for somebody, you lose yourself. You lose yourself. You lose your self-worth. You lose your self-dignity. You lose, your reputation is tarnished. Everything. Everything is at stake, y'all. Be a stand-up person. Love yourself enough to say no. I loved myself enough to say no. And he was the man, I would say he was the man of my dreams. And I did find myself compromising things that he wanted to do, things that he wanted to talk about, things that he wanted to watch, things that he wanted to experience. And I gave him those experiences. I gave him those experiences. And guess what? Guess what? In the end, it didn't work out, and he married somebody else. He with somebody else. And I don't know their business. I don't know if she was already into the things that he was into or not. But one thing I do know is I lost myself trying to be someone's everything. Be your own everything. Stand tall, stand firm, be true to yourself, love yourself, stay connected with the Lord, and he will send someone who just absolutely adores you as you are. You ain't got to bend, you ain't got to break, you ain't got to throw your morals away. You ain't got to put aside who you really are. You ain't never got to be uncomfortable. Anybody that really loves you ain't gonna never, they gonna be able to know your spirit ain't right and you're not comfortable with this. Baby, that's okay. You don't have to do it. They're gonna love you just for who you are. And they're gonna always consider your feelings and value you to a point where they don't want to lose you. They don't want to offend you. And if they do, they will always tell you that they're sorry. They will make it right, and they will try their best to never do it again. Anyways, I'm Nikki St. Clair. Happy Valentine's Day. Everybody love on themselves. Love on your family. Love on your pet. Love on your friends. Love on the Lord. And if you're married or if you have a significant other, love on them. But always remember what I said. Self-love is the best love. All right? Anyways, I'll talk to you later. Peace out. And please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you later. Peace.